my dear students, welcome back to one more session of our English class. My dear student, today we will start with 3.2 The Night I Met Einstein by Jerome Weirdman. Okay, my dear student. So today we will understand and know about the personal experience of the author, what happened when he met Einstein. Okay, he is the author Jerome Weirdman. So let's start, my dear student. Before starting the lesson, we will start with the warming up session. Let's see the warming up session, my dear student. You can see the first question of the warming up session is, with your benchmate, prepare a profile of Albert Einstein. So my dear student, first is about profession. The profession, what was the profession of Albert Einstein, my dear students? You know it very well, that is scientist. Field of science. In which field he was? He was in theoretical physics. World famous theory proposed, that is theory of relativity. Awards, Barnard Medal, Nobel Prize in Physics. Many awards he has received. Okay, my dear students. Disability in childhood, suffered from Asperger syndrome. Okay, my dear students. Books written, The Special and the General Theory. Many books are written. This is only one book I have told to you. Okay, my dear student, let's see our next warming up session. That is, look at the pictures of musical instrument and write their names, what the player of the instrument is called, and a famous player of the instrument. Okay, so let's see, the first picture is of tabla. Okay, name of the instrument is tabla. One who play is called tabla player. Okay, a famous player, Zakir Hussain. Next picture is of Shehnai. One who play is called Shehnai Wadak. A famous player, Ustad Bismillah Khan. The third picture is piano. One who plays called pianist. A famous player, Anil Srivastava. The next picture is, my dear student, drum. Okay, one who plays called drummer. A famous player is called Shiva Mahi. Next picture is of violin. One who plays called violinist. And the next is a famous player, Karthik Iyer. Next picture is of sitar, my dear student. One who plays called sitarist. A famous player, Pandit Ravi Shankar. Next picture is of trumpet. One who plays called trumpeter. A famous player, Kishore Soda. So hope, my dear student, this both the question of warming up session is clear to you. Let's see the next warming up session question, that is, separate the words in the column they belong to. Music, okay, chorus, melody, swar, raga, symphony, serenade, tune, chord. Okay, dance, a ballet, Kathak, mudra, choreography, hip hop. Okay, my dear students, common to both arts. Okay, salsa, audience, tango, allegro, duet, odissi, concert, performance. Okay, my dear students, so hope, my dear student, this warming up session is clear to you. Okay, my dear student, so let's start our lesson. My dear student, let's start with our lesson, The Night I Met Einstein. First, let's see about the author, that is Jerome Weirdman. Born in 1913 and he died in 1998, was an American playwright and novelist. In 1960, he won the Pulitzer Prize for his work, a musical drama titled Fiorillo. He collaborated with George Abbott, Jerry Bosch, and Sheldon Harnick for its music and lyrics. His book, I Can Beat It For You Wholesale, has also been used for a movie of the same name. So hope, my dear students, you have understood about this author, Jerome Weirdman, who is an American playwright and novelist. So this lesson, this chapter, The Night I Met Einstein, is a personal experience of the author of this American playwright and novelist. Okay, my dear students, so let's start. When I was very young man, I was invited to dine at the house of a philanthropist. After a wonderful dinner, our hostess took us to a large drawing room. Chairs were being arranged. I'm arranging the chairs for a concert, my hostess said. We are going to listen to a very good pianist. Though everyone else was very happy, I was not. I did not understand classical music. I thought I was stone deaf. I sat down so that I will not be impolite and waited for the concert to begin. I did not pay attention to the music after it began. So, my dear student, the author is saying, the American playwright Jerome Wedgman is saying that when he was young, he was invited to dine to have dinner at the house of philanthropist. Now, who is philanthropist, my dear student? A person who do social work. Okay. After a wonderful dinner, okay, the hostess, a woman who invites guests to a social event, took the author and everyone, the people, to a large drawing room. Okay, my dear student. Chairs were being arranged. So the hostess said that these chairs are arranged for a concert. What is concert, my dear student? I think, and you might be aware of this word, concert. Performance of music by players or singers. So what she told, that we are going to listen to a very good pianist, someone who plays the piano. Everyone was happy, but the author did not understand classical music. So he was not happy, but he thought that I should not be impolite. I should behave like a responsible person. So he sat and waited for the concert to begin. And he did not pay attention to music after it started, because the author is saying that he thought he was stone deaf. Now, my dear student, what is tone deaf? Unable to hear the difference between the high and the low notes of music. Means who cannot differentiate between the high and the low notes, who don't have any understanding about music. Okay, my dear students. So the author himself is saying that he thought he is tone deaf. Okay, and a philanthropist, a person who donates money for others' well-being. So the author was invited. Let's see what happened, my dear students. After a while, I heard everyone clapping, so I realized that the piece was over. Just then, I heard a gentle but firm voice saying, "You are fond of Bach?" I knew as much about Bach as I did about nuclear physics. I was going to say something ordinary so that I could get out of the situation. I turned in order to look at my neighbor, and I saw a very famous face. It was someone with a shock of white hair and a pipe. So, when the concert was over, when the pianist had finished playing the music, everyone started clapping. And here the author realized that this concert, this piano music was over. Just then he heard a gentle and a firm voice, and someone asked him, "Are you fond of Bach?" Now, what is Bach, my dear student? Johann Sebastian Bach, a German organist and composer of the 17th century. So he is Bach. Okay, my dear student. So he's Johann Sebastian Bach, a German organist and a composer of the 17th century. So the writer is sharing his experience, that what he thought, I knew as much about Bach as I did about nuclear physics. Okay, he knew about Bach only about as much as he knew about nuclear physics. I was going to say something ordinary, so that writer wanted to say something else so that he can get out of the situation. But when he turned, that who the person is asking me about this question, are you fond of Bach? He saw a very famous face. It was someone with a shock of white hair and a pipe. I knew that I must tell this man the truth. He looked at me as if my answer was very important. I do not know anything about Bach, I said. I have never heard any of his music. He looked surprised. You have never heard of Bach? He asked. He made it sound as if I had said that I had never taken a bath. I would like to understand music so that I could understand back, I said. But I am unable to. I am tone deaf. So what the writer thought, when authors saw this famous person with a white hair and a big pipe, so he thought that he must tell the truth to the man. Author must have thought that this person who is asking me is an experienced person. If I will say something ordinary, something unrelatable, the person will understand. So it's better to say the truth. So the author told the truth that I don't know anything about the John and Sebastian Bach. Okay, I have never heard any of his music. He was very surprised. He asked, "You have never heard of Bach?" The sound he make, the expression the person make, the author is describing as if he has not taken bath in his lifetime. So how did the author convince the neighbor that he would like to understand the music of that book, but I'm not able to differentiate between the high and low notes of music. That's why I don't know about John and Sebastian Bach. Okay, my dear students. The old man got up. You will come up with me, he asked. I just remained seated. I'm requesting you to come with me, he said again. So I went up with him. He took me to a room which had a gramophone in it and asked, What kind of music do you like? Well, I answered, I like songs that have words and the kind of music where I can follow the tune. So the old man asked the playwright and the novelist, Joe Wordman, to get up from his seat. But author remains seated. Okay. So, but then he told, I'm requesting you to come with me. And that famous white hair and a big pipe person took him into a room which had a gramophone in it. Okay, my dear student. And I asked, what kind of music do you like? Now, my dear student, what is gramophone? I hope you are aware of this word. Okay, gramophone is a machine for playing recorded music. Nowadays we play the music in our cell phone, in our iPads, right, my dear students, in our computer, in our laptop, in our iPod. But in those days, during the time of 17th century, only gramophone was available. Okay, and there was used to be a big CD, like big CD used to there. They used to insert it, and the gramophone used to play. So, okay, my dear students. So he asked the author, "What type of music do you like? What type of songs? What type of music do you like?" So he told that I like songs that have words, which I can understand, a music which I can follow the tune. You know, my dear students, in music also we have lot of variety. Okay, my dear students, there is only one instrumental music, one classical music, hip hop music, right, my dear students? One, there is a music with songs and words, lyrics are also there. I hope, my dear students, you know it. So gramophone is a machine for playing recorded music. Nodded, move head up and down to indicate agreement. Let's see what happened in the room. He smiled and nodded, obviously pleased. You can give me an example, perhaps. I told him I like anything by Bing Crosby. At once I could hear Bing Crosby's voice filling the room. Now can you please tell me what you just heard, he said. The simplest answer seemed to be to sing the lines. So I sang it back to him. He smiled. You are not tone deaf, he said. So the famous person, his neighbor, requested the author to come with him, and he took him into a room where there was gramophone, right? So he nodded. He told, yes, okay, I will come. So the famous person asked that what type of music you like. So he told, I like music with words, right, my dear students? So can you give me an example? So the author told him, I like to listen about Bing Crosby. Now this is also a famous of that time, a famous singer or musician or lyric person. Okay, So the person played the music, Bing Crosby music, on the gramophone, and now he could hear Bing Crosby voice filling the room. So now this person, his neighbor asks, "Can you tell me what you have heard?" What was the simplest answer? To sing the lines, right? If I will ask my dear student, what kind of music you like, so you will say me, teacher, I like so and so music. If I will play the music, and then I will stop the music, I will pause the music, and I will ask you, my dear students, can you tell me what you just heard? So what will be your answer? You will automatically, you will say the lyrics of that song. So same incident, same experience happened with the author itself. The simplest answer seemed to be to sing the line. So the author sang it back to him. So what did the experienced and famous person told? That you are not tone deaf. Okay, the author has previously told him in the conversation that he is tone deaf. That's why he is not interested in the music of John and Sebastian Bach. So now the famous person is saying that you are not tone deaf. Okay, why you are not tone deaf? Because you know, you can understand the lyrics, you can follow the tune. A tone deaf person cannot even understand the music with words also, right, my dear students? I told him this was my favorite song, something I had heard hundreds of times, so it didn't really prove anything. Nonsense, said Einstein. It proves everything. Do you remember your first arithmetic lesson in school? Suppose at your very first contact with numbers, your teacher had ordered you to work out a problem in, say, long division of fractions. Could you have done it? So that, my dear students, now you might be aware that the famous person is who? Albert Einstein. Okay? So when Albert Einstein told the author Geo Wordman that, look, you are not tone deaf. Okay? So what Geo Wordman, this is my favorite song and I have heard hundreds of times. So it does not prove anything that I am not tone deaf. So what Einstein told? Nonsense. It proves everything. How did he convince the author that he is not tone deaf, and he can even understand the music of Bach, music of John Sebastian Bach, a German organist, the composer of the 17th century? So how did he convince the author? He asks author, did you remember your first arithmetic? Arithmetic means maths. Okay, maths, addition, subtraction. Okay, my dear student, arithmetic lesson in school. Okay, your very first contact, first time you have came with number, your teachers have introduced you numbers, your teachers had ordered you to work out a problem in, say, a long of division of fractions. Could you have done it? So arithmetic is a branch of mathematics which deals with the number, right, my dear students? So he's asking that, do you remember your first maths lesson? Do you remember when your teacher first time introduced your number? So did your teacher directly told you to solve a problem? Could you have done it? Right, my dear students? If you are not aware of the numbers, okay, 1 to 100, whatever numbers are there, so how could you solve a problem? Right, my dear students? So he is asking the author. No, of course not. The author is saying, exactly, it's like learning maths. You have to learn addition and subtraction in order to do multiplication and division. Now I'm playing something a little more advanced. It was Jan Mockconnect singing The Trumpeter. Sing that back, he ordered. So the author said, no, of course not. Without knowing the numbers, how can I solve any maths problem? So same way, okay, the Albert Einstein, same, it is, music is like learning maths. You have to learn addition, subtraction in order to do multiplication and division, right, my dear students? First the teacher introduce you to the numbers, then they show you about addition, then you learn subtraction. After learning addition of from one number, two digit number, 3 digit, 4 digit number, then you learn multiplication of 1 digit, 2 digit, division of 1 digit, 2 digit. Then only you are able to solve a problem. So in the same way, the last time Albert Einstein played the music of the author's favorite music. That is of which, what was the favorite music of Geo Wedman? My dear student, yes, Bing Crosby, American singer and actor. Okay, so he played that music, right, my dear student? So the author sang that music in a very good, in that same tune. So in the same way, Albert Einstein now played a little more advanced music, that is John McCormack. Okay, my dear, singing the trumpeters. Okay, now my dear student, this is John McCormack singing the. He is the famous composer and singer of that time, John McCormack. And Albert Einstein played the music, the trumpeter, and then he told the author, "Sing that back." Okay, and we went on from a level to higher level until he was playing just music without words. I was amazed that this great man was paying complete attention tone so that I could learn something new. It was as if I was the most important person in his world. Suddenly he got up and turned off the gramophone. "Now, young man," he said, "we are ready to listen to back." We went down and sat in the hall. "Just allow yourself to listen," he said. "That's all there is to it." So, like that, Albert Einstein played music from a very lower level to a higher level in the same way addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, is taught by our maths teacher. The same way he played the music from a lower level to a higher level until he played the music without words. And the author understood the music without words, and he was surprised that this great man was paying complete attention, was explaining him and making him understand in such a detailed way that the author himself could learn something new in the music, could create interest in the music, classical music, right? And the author was feeling as if I was the most important person in the world. He was explaining to me, although they were stranger, right, my dear student? They had met in a dine party organized by a philanthropist, right, my dear student? Suddenly he got up and turned off the gramophone. Now he told to author, "Now, young man, we are ready to listen to the music of John and Sebastian Bach." We went down and sat in the hall, and he told, "Just allow yourself to listen. Sit and just listen to his music." And that's it. I have heard that piece many times since that day, but I am never alone. I am sitting beside a small man with a shock of untidy hair and a pipe in his mouth. He has eyes that are unusually warm. When the concert ended, I too was able to clap sincerely. Our hostess came towards us with both stood up. "I'm sorry, Dr. Einstein," she said, giving me a cold look, "that you missed so much." So afterwards, after this experience, my dear author is expressing, is sharing his thoughts that after this experience, after this understanding the music without words, understanding the classical music, he has listened this back music many times a day. But he always says that he's never alone. Whenever he listens this music, he's feeling that is a small man with a shock, with untidy hair and a pipe in his mouth, is always with him. He has his eyes that are usually unusually warm. When the concert ended, he also started to clap sincerely because he understood the music. Our hostess, the person, okay, my dear student, our hostess, woman who invites guests to the social event, came, and we both stood up. She told, "I'm sorry, Dr. Einstein," she said, giving me a cold look, "that you missed so much." Okay, that means Dr. Einstein missed many part of the back music when it was playing in that dine party. Why? Because he took the author to understand him, to explain him. Okay, the music from a low level to a high level, right, my dear students? "I'm sorry too," he said. "My young friend here and I I, however, were engaged in the greatest activity of which a human being is capable. She looked puzzled. Okay, my dear students. Really, she said, and what is that? And Einstein smiled and put his arm across my shoulders, opening up the frontiers of beauty. So, my dear students, so Albert Einstein was busy explaining to the author about the music, right, my dear students? His main aim was that author could understand music, classical music. So he was in a room with this young man with this author in gramophone. Meanwhile, he missed all the back music, right? He was very favorite. It was Albert Einstein's favorite. So he told, I'm sorry too. My young friend and I were very busy in the greatest activity of which human being is capable. Means human being is capable of understanding the music. And she is surprised at what is that? Einstein smiled and put his arm across the author's shoulders, that opening up the frontiers of the beauty, opening up the borders of the beauty. So hope my dear students you have understood this lesson. It is a personal experience of the author. You have understood that we all human beings have that capability and ability to do each and every work. Okay, God has given that ability and capability, and we should have that confidence, we should have that positivity in our life. Okay, my dear student, we should not leave any work, anything in life that no, I cannot understand, I cannot do it. At least give a try. Okay, my dear students. So hope my dear student this story is clear to you. I hope it will give a positive effect in your life, my dear students. Take care of yourself. This is your homework, my dear students. You have to read the lesson, complete your workbook. My dear student, as you are aware that we have given you the notes of the first term. Now it's time, my dear students, that now you yourself have to complete your workbook. Now you yourself have to complete your all question and answer, all grammar questions on your workbook on your own, so that you will have the habit to do on your own. Okay, my dear students, this is your homework. If any problem, any query, when we will meet soon, we will clear your problem and query. Okay, my dear students, take care of yourself. Thank you, my dear students.